The number one breakfast that's clogging your arteries, and you probably eat it daily. Good morning, friends. Let me ask you something personal. How do you start your day? If you're like most Americans, you probably reach for a bowl of cereal and a glass of orange juice. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the scary truth. That classic breakfast is one of the biggest reasons arteries get clogged, leading to strokes and heart attacks. And yet, over 84% of Americans eat it almost every day. You may think, well, I eat healthy now, so I'm safe, but the damage may already be done. And the people around you, your children, grandchildren, your spouse, might still be eating this every single morning. Today's video is a wake-up call. I'll break down why this meal is more dangerous than you think, what it does to your heart, and most importantly, what you can eat instead to protect yourself. Because once you know the truth, you can make better choices for you and your loved ones. We often say, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But what if it's also the most dangerous? Let's start with the two main culprits: processed breakfast cereal and fruit juice, especially orange juice. These two items are so common, they're practically on every breakfast table in America. Yet together, they form a meal that's silently damaging our arteries. 283 million Americans eat breakfast cereal regularly. That's 84% of the population, and 90% drink juice at least once a week. These are not rare habits. They are daily rituals for most households. Even more concerning, many seniors grew up believing cereal was heart-healthy. We saw it on TV commercials, we read it on the box. But behind those colorful boxes and heart-shaped labels is a different story. A story of high sugar, hidden chemicals, and blood sugar spikes that drive inflammation deep into our arteries. And orange juice? It may look natural and fresh, but it's stripped of fiber, leaving behind a rush of pure sugar, 22 grams per glass on average. So when you think about your next breakfast, ask yourself, am I helping my heart or hurting it? Now let's take a step back and understand what we really mean when we say clogged arteries. Most people think it's all about cholesterol, especially the so-called bad kind, LDL. But that's only part of the story. Inside your arteries is a delicate inner lining called the intima. Over time, poor lifestyle choices, like a diet filled with processed carbs and sugar, cause inflammation. In this lining, that's the real enemy, chronic inflammation. It invites immune cells to the scene, which accidentally damage the artery wall even more. The result? A gooey, toxic substance called plaque builds up beneath the intima. This plaque narrows the artery, and worse, it can rupture, forming a blood clot that blocks blood flow entirely. If the clot travels to your heart, it causes a heart attack. If it travels to your brain, it's a stroke. So no, it's not just about cholesterol numbers. In fact, many people with so-called normal cholesterol still suffer heart attacks because they're inflamed from the inside. And what causes this inflammation? A condition doctors call insulin resistance, what you might know as prediabetes. It's when your body can't handle sugar properly, so insulin levels stay high. This fuels inflammation and accelerates plaque growth. And what drives insulin resistance the most? You guessed it. Sugar and refined carbs, especially those found in cereal and juice. Let's get honest about cereal. It's marketed as the breakfast of champions, but when you read the label, it tells a very different story. Take Cheerios, for example, the best-selling cereal in the US. It sells over 139 million boxes every year, bringing in nearly $500 million in revenue. That's a lot of people pouring this into their bowls every morning. Here's what one serving looks like on paper: 1.5 cups, 139 grams, 29 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of sugar, 6 grams of fiber. But here's the problem. Most people pour way more than 1.5 cups. And those 29 grams of carbs quickly turn into a blood sugar spike once they hit your stomach. especially because they're mostly refined starches like cornstarch and added sugars. Then there's tripotassium phosphate, an ingredient that acts as an emulsifier and acidity regulator. But outside of cereal, it's also used as an industrial cleaning agent. Yes, really, you're unknowingly eating chemicals that can alter your blood chemistry and harm your arteries. Worse still, many cereals contain high fructose corn syrup, a known trigger for fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, and yes, cardiovascular inflammation. Let's turn to the other half of this dangerous duo, orange juice. It looks so innocent, bright, sunny, natural, advertised as loaded with vitamin C and good for your immune system. But here's the truth most people don't realize. A single 8-ounce glass of orange juice contains 22 grams of sugar. And like cereal, it lacks the fiber that normally slows down sugar absorption. That means your blood sugar skyrockets shortly after drinking it, and when your blood sugar spikes, insulin surges. Over time, this repeated cycle leads to insulin resistance, one of the leading causes of inflammation, arterial plaque, and heart disease. You might think, but it's 100% juice, no added sugar. True, but your body doesn't care where the sugar comes from. Natural fructose from juice still hits your liver hard, and guess what? That fructose gets stored as fat in the liver, leading to a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is a major contributor to artery clogging plaque. Here's another hidden danger. Most people drink more than 8 ounces. Half a bottle of juice, that's up to 78 grams of carbs, before you've even touched your cereal. Now that we know what not to eat, let's talk about what you can enjoy for breakfast without putting your heart at risk. First, focus on low-carb, high-protein meals that support stable blood sugar and reduce inflammation. One of the best choices, eggs. They're packed with nutrients, protein, and healthy fats. Scrambled, boiled, poached, however you like them, eggs are a great start. Pair them with a slice of avocado, a small serving of nuts, or even sausage, as long as it's not loaded with sugars or additives. Want something warm and hearty? Try steel-cut oats or stone-ground grits. Both are slower to digest and have a lower glycemic index compared to instant versions. But remember, even good carbs should be eaten in moderation. If you enjoy coffee, consider adding healthy fats like grass-fed butter or avocado oil for extra satiety. It may sound strange, but many seniors find it helps with energy and mental clarity in the morning. And if you're comfortable with intermittent fasting, here's a tip. It may be better to eat breakfast and skip dinner instead of the other way around. This helps you stay in sync with your natural body clock and burn fat more effectively. Most importantly, listen to your body. Choose what gives you energy, mental clarity, and a steady heart, not sugar highs and crashes. If you've made it this far, you've taken an important step toward protecting your heart. You now know that cereal and orange juice, once thought of as the healthy way to start your day, are actually two of the biggest drivers of artery clogging inflammation. The good news? You can change this. Starting tomorrow, swap the sugar for substance, choose real foods, prioritize your heart, and don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with someone you love. Question of the day. Did you grow up on cereal and juice? When did you realize it might not be so healthy? Share your story below.